I have a simple problem. If I lie, I die. My best friend was dead. I always had a feeling Kat would meet her demise at a young age. I just never thought it would happen in the way it did. I couldn't get a text or call back from Kat all night. I went to check on her first thing in the morning. I found my best friend on the floor of her bedroom, a pool of blood around her face. Her tongue laid next to her patchy and irritated scalp. Her hands clung to the back of said scalp. She was only 19. It certainly looked like she died trying to protect herself from something attacking her from behind. I immediately felt the same fate awaited me. I saw telltale signs of trauma on Kat's body, which I had been experiencing as well. Intense hair loss, fingernails falling out, a hideous rash which wrapped around almost my entire neck. I went over to the bathroom to throw up. I had felt sick all morning. When I pulled my head up out of the toilet, I saw that Kat's journal was on the floor, not far from her body, open. Her bubbly penmanship in pink ink in no way fit the sinister subject matter, which was headlined, "If you lie, you die." A numbered list of items followed the heading. 1. Rash. 2. Your nails fall off. 3. Hair falls out. 4. Death of your first love. 5. You lose your voice. 6. Death of firstborn. Based on the fact that I was looking at Kat dead on her bathroom floor, I assume item unlucky number 7 was that you died. I also saw a note scrawled below the list. 1 week. You're clear. I knew I had whatever killed Kat. I didn't think my first love had died yet. But wait, could Kat's death have been actually triggered by me lying? I had lied to my mum the night before. I never had a romantic partner. My family sucked with a capital S. Kat was the only person who mattered to me. She could easily be described as my first true love. This curse identified Kat as my first love. I lied for the 4th time since I got the curse to my mum the night before, and it killed her. That's what happened. I blame myself. It felt like home. "I'm sorry, Kat," I said out loud, to confirm I hadn't hit the 5th step yet and still had my voice. My heart was broken. My brain was terrified. A childhood of trauma told me I had limited options from there, and I had to choose my next moves wisely and not linger and mourn. I figured whatever this horrible thing was, it was contagious, and I only had a couple mistakes left before I joined Kat. It was time to race home, gather some things, and start to research and run. That meant I unfortunately needed to go to my mum's house and gather some things. I was packing my bags and sleuthing on my phone for any information I could find online at the same time when my mum slipped into my room and confronted me. "Did you fuck Jason?" my mum yelled at me. How did my mum know that? Long story short, Jason was a guy who was too young for my mum. She brought home from the bar one night, and she was too drunk to actually end up getting with. I came home tipsy and desperate from a party, and the rest was history. Sad, ugly, dirty, messy history. Jason was gone in the morning. A whole year had passed, and I had never heard a single thing from or about him. I figured it was long dead and buried, instead of me having to get dead and buried because of it. "No," I answered. "Wait. No." I wasn't supposed to lie, but I think it was such muscle memory it just came out. "Don't fucking lie to me." There was no time to debate with my mum. I just needed to get away from her and start trying to solve the problem. "Let me go." My words got more and more faint as each one came out. The loss of my voice confirmed to me I was on the 5th step. I had only 2 lies left before I died. I stormed out of the house without exchanging another word with my mum. I wondered if I would ever see her again. I found threads about what was happening to me on Reddit. Unfortunately, everyone who posted about having it seemed to just stop posting rather quickly. It was hard to do any research on my phone because I was driving and I was getting calls non-stop. Someone I found on Reddit who replied to one of the threads about the curse had agreed to meet me a few towns over, and I wasn't going to waste any time in getting to them. Red and blue lights appeared in the mirror. Apparently, the universe had different plans. Kat's body had been found. I had been seen going in and out of her house. I had questions to answer. They stuck me with a female police cop, Officer Jacobs. She quickly twisted the knife about Kat, and I knew I had to navigate the questions carefully. You found Kat dead in her room? Yes. You didn't tell anyone? Why not? Kat was caught up with some bad things, bad people, drugs. I suspected they may have been responsible, and as much as it hurt, I didn't want to be the one responsible for reporting her dead if it was because of them, I explained, honestly. You just left your friend there dead? Alone? Officer Jacobs had me absorbing my true, painful feelings of losing Kat. It clouded my decision-making. I was no longer sharp. It pains me looking back at it because I see just how it went wrong. You only checked Kat's pulse. That's the only place you touched her when you found her. That's true. It immediately came like a punch in my gut, then traveled down between my legs. I could do nothing but feel pain, completely frozen. You didn't kiss her? Officer Jacobs asked. I couldn't answer. All I could do was feel pain and have the horrible realization of a memory of myself planting the softest of kisses goodbye on Kat's dead forehead that morning. I had lied. My body was paying the price. It felt like all of my insides rushed to my pelvic floor and blood rushed out from between my legs. I had a miscarriage. I lost my firstborn. I didn't know I was even pregnant. The drug test the cops had me take proved it. My lie ejected the fetus that was inside me. Ironic, because before that I didn't think I could feel any more hollow before. I felt secluding myself was the best option once I got out of the hospital. I rented a quiet cottage-style hotel room. Just me and an internet connection so I could talk to the mysterious anonymous stranger on Reddit. They explained that most people wouldn't talk to you because you were risking lying to someone and giving it back to them if they had survived it. They also explained you had a full year after you were inflicted with it before you were cleared. How can I stop it before a year? You can't. I'm sorry. I'm starting to worry that this is going to affect me. I'm sorry, but I can't help anymore. I felt utterly hopeless. The one person who could help me had bailed. This is probably where you think I started gearing up to take this thing on, win my life back, but no. I was already battling depression before this all happened, and it was just another punch down at me. I laid in bed for days, not eating, not responding to any attempts to contact me. There was a knock at the door at first light. I saw Officer Jacobs through the peephole. Something inside me told me I should answer. I let her in. She was a completely different animal from the one who had questioned me back at the station. She won my trust by showing me her rash and that her hair was falling out. I found Kat's journal in her room. I figured it was made up until it started happening to me. Did I get this from you? Officer Jacobs said, her voice still intact. Does it matter? I answered back. How did you find me? Officer Jacobs drew an answer but stopped herself. We need to be careful. My wife is my first love, and she's still alive. I'd like to keep it that way. We can solve this. Then answer the question truthfully. How did you find me? I asked again. There's only so many motels around here someone could stay in. I drove until I found your car. It's parked right outside this cottage. You can see it from the highway, Officer Jacobs answered. She seemed incredibly genuine at that point. I figured she would be my best chance for cracking the thing anyway. I let her in. I have some information for you, she announced as soon as she was inside. Apparently this has happened in Jackson County before. They may have found a solution, Officer Jacobs said. Officer Jacobs moved for a closet. She took off her belt and tied it to the top of the open closet. Kelly is the only good thing that's ever happened to me. I can't risk losing her, Officer Jacobs explained as she sized up the noose to her chin. I had a feeling Officer Jacobs wasn't going to let me leave the room. I pulled files from Whatcom County PD. They didn't believe the curse, but they had interviewed transcripts from people involved. Someone said you can beat it if you take yourself right to the brink of dying and then you live, Officer Jacobs spouted as she got ready to hang herself. I didn't like where things were going with Officer Jacobs. I thought about just bolting for the door. I need you to watch me and make sure I don't actually die, Officer Jacobs said from the closet. Fuck it. I ran for the door. "Lucy?" Officer Jacobs called out to me. Ugh, I couldn't just leave her hanging. Literally. I stopped myself and went back to Officer Jacobs when there was a knock at the door. Answer it. I knew I had to answer it. I couldn't risk having my head get filled with any more doubts at that point. "Help!" Officer Jacobs gasped from behind. I turned and saw that Officer Jacobs was now hanging in the closet. I wanted to help her, but the door opened. My mom stomped into the room and went right for me. I had been so foolish to not hide myself better. My psychotic mom had found me and was even more irate than when I had left her. She bull-rushed me and got me moving backward. I tripped and started to fall. Everything went into slow motion as I looked up and around the room. I could see Officer Jacobs hanging on her noose in the closet, trying to survive, swinging her legs frantically, trying her best to grip the edge of the bed and get some leverage. I could see my mom rushing at me, psychotic rage all over her face, not the least bit fazed that I was falling to the floor. It was the last thing I saw before the back of me head hit the bottom of the bed frame and everything went dark. I woke up in a hospital room. Officer Jacobs was the only other person in the room. I felt like I had awoken from a coma. I hoped Officer Jacobs' thought that a near-death experience could clear it had happened and was true. It worked, as far as I can tell, Officer Jacobs confirmed before I even asked. Officer Jacobs didn't look completely relieved, though. I could tell she had just been crying. "I lost Kelly. One too many lies," she lamented. "I don't blame you, though." Officer Jacobs laughed to herself just a little bit. "See, that was an outright lie right there, and nothing bad happened. I'm definitely clear," Officer Jacobs added. "I'm sorry," my voice had returned, confirming to me that I had also shaken the curse. "You're not out of the woods yet. You have one more person you have to decide if you want to move forward with in your life, and if you want to help them." I confirmed I knew who Officer Jacobs was talking about when I went to another room and saw my dear old mom in a hospital bed. Most of her hair was missing. She was covered with rashes, and she looked exhausted just to see me, but I got a rise out of her. "Do you know how to make this stop?" she asked me, her voice shot out and desperate. "It's simple. If you lie, you die," I explained. My mum's tired face filled with pure bewilderment. "I'm just going to leave it at this. One question. Do you think you've been a good mom?" My mom wrestled with the question for a good while. Her eyes shot around the room. "No," she gasped. It felt like the right point to end our story. I left the room, paying no mind to what she yelled at me. It was easy given her voice was gone. I had Officer Jacobs deliver my mom a set of instructions for if she wanted a chance to navigate the curse and come out on the other end alive. I have never heard from my mum again. I have no idea if she is alive or dead, and I do not care. No lie.